So, Dan, what?
No, I'm Dan.
That's Brandon. And that's Dustin. Just making sure. All right. Brandon's in white.
We're live.
So this is the 6 o'clock game on Friday night. Wisconsin women versus women's Whitewater. Court number 2, 3. All right, good tip. We just talked about this earlier, which is great. Nice job coming back. That's an odd situation that we've got to walk through. You did a really nice job from the U2 position, stepping back and taking that coverage. It was good communication that we had with eyes with each other. All right, recognize rotations. It's always good to remember when you're running up and down the court to always take a peek back over your shoulder. There might be a chance that you will see whether or not that official's coming down behind you or whether or not you need to just move down to the C position. Good whistle, good mechanics. Make sure that we get we mirror that make. So on a 3-point shot from the trail and center, we both want to mirror the make. Good. Good, Dustin. Make sure that you have a preliminary three-pointer on that. So you want to put your one hand up with your 3-point fingers up. Good. See between players. Brandon, one thing that I noticed on the transition is make sure that you don't run backwards. There's a good chance that you might trip over your heels and fall backwards. So whenever we're transitioning the opposite way, open up your hips, run forward, but then look over your shoulder and keep your eyes on the players. Good initial positioning at all 3 positions. Much better, Dustin. That's a great 3-point mechanics. Much better. Good. Nice job mirroring. As we transition down the court, make sure that you keep eyes on players, especially as we transition from trail to lead. Make sure that we don't look and find the wall, we find the players instead. Dustin, on that last play, it was a really good job for you to put up a 3-pointer, but what I liked about it was you recognized that Brandon put up the 3-pointer, meaning that he's got the shooter. You dropped it. At that point, you want to take your eyes over to the defensive player. So we had a little bit of an odd rotation on that one. Dustin, on that play, we kind of made everyone else move. So what you want to do is you want to take yourself and you're going to administer that ball. Actually, you're going to go all the way down to the be the new lead. And our previous trail is just going to come across the floor. So that way we don't have to make everybody what we call a long switch. Dan, good strong whistle. Good mechanics, Dan. Good mechanics, Dustin. Recognize rotations. So right now, Brandon, yep, you recognize it just now, but what we want to do is make sure that we're not so focused on players that we also have a good conception of where our partners are and where they're moving. And you'll get that. They'll keep building. Dustin, great use of the tip mechanic. That's the one time that we do want to use it because that really helps us out. That helped Brandon to make sure that we wouldn't have it send it the other way. So your mechanic was very helpful for Brandon on that play. Dustin, nice job coming in and closing in on that play. You can even probably take a step closer to those players just to make sure that we don't have any issues, especially when there's a tie-up, especially with females. There's a lot of less of disparity between strengths. There's a good chance that there might be some other junk that we got to take care of. Good patience. Way to see plays start, develop, and finish. Good mechanics, Dan. Foul. So from my angle here, I'm kind of on the baseline. 51 displaces the shooter on that play. She's behind her back. She gets beat, so she's cheating. And then we have a displacement foul on that. Good patience. So we're doing a nice job of being in good position. One thing that can help us out with the three-person system, though, is anticipating where the ball is going and then move accordingly. So right now we are reflecting on every time the ball changes. If we could take a step and kind of understand, all right, the ball is going to get swung, I'm going to take a step there to be prepared so we can receive plays instead of be reactive to plays. Good mechanics. Keep eyes on players. Brandon, I think that's a really good call. I think with your positioning, you're able to see that she displaces her going up for that ball. One thing though, I want you to rewind and take a look at the way that you post your foul. Your arm doesn't get all the way up, so it looks kind of sloppy. It's a good call, but we can work on our mechanics and cleaning it up a little bit. When you go to the table, also make sure that you give a good, crisp clean and try and get up what we call up in the window. So get your mechanics upwards instead of down by your waist. Dan, I really like your patience on that play. That's a great verticality play. The girl is straight up. She makes contact with the ball. if we are not patient on that whistle, we take a foul on that. That's a very nice verticality play, and I like your no call on it. We're doing a nice job. We've got a very short court on the side, so we definitely have to be aware of that. Good mechanics, very short courts. Foul. So on that play, as she goes up to shoot, red 42 creates contact, and it causes her to shoot the ball at a, well, puts her in a disadvantage, let's put it that way. So I would take a foul on red 42 on that play. So, Dustin, one of that play right there as a slot, if we've got pressure in the backcourt, we want to stay back and help referee that defense. Don't be so quick to get down the court because there's a chance that we may miss something in transition. On that play, I'm not going to say there's a foul or not a foul. We need to take a look at that play. But regardless, stay back a little bit in transition so that makes sure we can receive that play. Dan, that's a strong call from the center official. Nice work. All right, Brandon, on that play, I want you to rewind and take a little bit of a, as you can see, I know it's a quick shot, so we don't necessarily want to rotate when we have a quick shot, but if you watch your eyes, you're looking across paint, and that, if we look across paint, there's a good chance for us, instead of staying there, to move to that position, because your eyes are technically going there. Just take your body to go with your eyes. Brandon, I like that call. Again, I want you to watch yourself mechanically when you report at the table. Everything is very low down by your waist. If you slow yourself down a little bit and make your signals bigger, crisper, and higher, it will give more credibility to your calls. patience. Dustin, much better job holding, watching play develop, and then moving down the court. It's always good at the center position when the shot goes up, rebound happens. Just pause for an extra second before you bust down the court. Dustin, I'm going to give you a trick. Don't ever worry about the ball. It'll find a way back to you. So if it's coming to yourself, make sure that you just let the ball roll away from you, give a good signal direction, and then go and find the ball, or have a player bring you the ball, so that way you don't have to worry about, oh no, and try and do it all at once. Dustin, same thing. I like your call selection, but your mechanics are very small and they're down at your waist. You want to get them up in what we call the TV, or up in the window, which is kind of up above your chest and into your shoulder regions. Brandon, you're headed all the way to the baseline. So we've got a little bit of a rotational. Not a problem. Dustin, go ahead and fix it. Nice work. So it happens. And it's not a big deal, but it does happen. Dustin, you did a nice job where if you recognize it, as a trail official, that's the person who gets to walk across and go ahead and just correct it yourself. So good work with that. I missed it, but I was told by my better half over here that was a good call. Dan, good mechanics. One of the things I really like is that you set the ball down before you report the timeout. Don't be afraid to put that ball right at the spot, because right now if a coach would ask you where the ball is going to be put into place, you're going to have to point at it. But if you have the ball, or you're standing in the places you should be standing in, they would know exactly where it is, would never have to ask you.